back. Like you know, it's political season. That's a lot of politics in the air. In a couple of weeks, we'll be finding out who the candidates for the APC and, well, the APC, I think we pretty much know who the presidential candidate will be. But for the PDP, their primaries are on the 6th of October. A lot of the states are also going to be having their primaries for the governorship candidates. So there's a lot of election talk in the air, and this is going to continue probably until February and even May in 2019, when the next government will be sworn in. But there's a lot of people who are going to be voting for the first time, and it's always an interesting demographic there, finding out what their thoughts are about the process and what their expectations are. And I have here with me two of them, Nefisa Atiku, a youth advocate, will be here today.
Thank you.
And of course, Muyo Babarindi, thanks for coming.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Let me start with you now, Nefisa. What was your experience like, first of all, with getting your PVC, your TVC, I think TVC before the PVC?
Yes, the TVC.
What was the process like for you?
Well, to be honest, I first got my TVC in Enugu when I was still studying law, University of Nigeria in Nsukka. It was traumatic, to be honest. I tried to get my TVC for about a week. Basically, on the last day, I was there I had to skip classes from morning to night. Was there from about 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The sun, it was horrible.
When was this? Last year?
No, that was around 2013, 2014. Okay. And then eventually, how I eventually got my TVC was by volunteering to help out the INEC officials that day. So I basically stood and I was holding up the background for them to take pictures. And then I now insisted that I get my TVC.
Your own pictures.
And then I had there was an INEC official there that was trying to do some very funny hanky-panky stuff, trying to get my number and all that, but it wasn't the easiest thing. Then going back to go and get my PVC, they told me it wasn't ready. And so that's why I couldn't actually vote in the last election. Yeah. But then coming down to this election, because I had to do a transfer, I spent about 3 days
doing the transfer?
Yes, at Ogudu, to be honest, because I don't understand. People actually start writing their names from 1 a.m. So
you get in the morning and there's already a list of 100 and something people.
No, not 100. You have about 700.
Wow.
So I had to do that for about 3 days. On the third day, I was able to successfully do the transfer, and then just waiting for my PVC in December so I can actually vote for the first time.
Okay. What about you? What's your story?
For me as well, I mean, the process was very, very challenging, like for most people. Trying to get into the polling, the registration places where you could actually get to, and then you put in your name and all that. It was very stressful for me. I had to take a couple of days off work to be able to actually get that done. But there was quite a lot of logistical, issues with that process. In 2014, I couldn't vote because I was actually serving at that moment, and was part of the officers working for INEC.
Okay.
One of the things that struck me was the fact that there was quite a lot of enthusiasm amongst the people. I saw a lot of old people that were there at the polling units.
Where was this? What state was this?
That was in Lagos,
okay.
Koshofe local government area. However, I think the seeds of the unpreparedness of INEC in some part was sown in my own heart because of what I noticed as an INEC official during the election. We got to our polling unit area around 3 a.m. the day before the election, and we actually didn't have anywhere to sleep. So we had to sleep, with your arms folded across your leg, and then by 7 a.m. they had to wake everybody out, and we were all packed into about 70, 50 INEC corporate members who were packed into one bus. So it was really hectic, but then people wanted to pass a message to the government. They wanted to pass a message about the fact that they're going to protect their votes. So it was quite an interesting experience for me as well to see that people are more interested than ever before, to make their votes count as well.
Do you see that same enthusiasm today? I mean, I know there was a lot of, like you said, 2014 was a time when everybody seemed like they really wanted to be to participate in this. I know there's more people who have registered this year. This is the highest number of voters or registered voters we've had in the history of Nigeria. But do you still feel that there's that same sort of passion by people who want to vote?
Yes, in fact, I am so happy. I keep on saying to people, because basically this is a space that I work in, youth inclusion, political participation, inclusive governance. I am so happy. If there's anything this government has done so far, is increase the awareness of young people to governance and politics. Because the thing is that if you do not see this country as your responsibility, the truth is that people shouldn't be asking, why are you not why are you not voting? The question is, why shouldn't you vote? Why are you not out there getting your PVC? Because that is the ticket to your future, and you have to protect it. We have a lot of new initiatives coming up, like obviously that Not Young to Run, and then the Ready to Run platform, New Voices Nigeria. A lot of young people waking up and taking their responsibilities seriously. Yeah. It's a lot of civic awareness, and it's like when I was at the Ogudu local government, if there's one thing I noticed a lot of young people, a whole lot of young people, a whole lot of them. I mean, not for anything. We need to realize, in politicians, political parties, even ourselves, need to realize that this election is probably going to be determined by a lot of young people.
Yeah. But in spite of all she said, which you are actually agreeing with, there's still a lot of people who don't believe in the system. There's a lot of people, even not as young as you are, people who have probably been eligible to vote for the last 10, 15 years, who just believe, I'm just going to take a holiday on the day of elections. I don't know, when you come across people like this, what do they say to you? I'm sure some of them probably even your friends.
Yes, absolutely.
What
so the thing about it is that you don't, my own perspective about that matter is the fact that the system is broken in many ways in the country. Not just the electoral, process alone. We're talking about other areas. So people don't have faith in the government to deliver on its promise to the people. Now, what I tell those kind of people is that we have either a choice. You either take a stand or you don't. If you don't take a stand, nothing is going to change. So what we have to do is to use the power that we have, what has been given to us, to be able to drive that change in our own communities. Now, when she talked about the fact that people are quite enthusiastic about, this election, 2014 was the first time an incumbent president would lose an election in the country. That was a milestone for our democracy in the country. Now, if, for example, the public and the electorate decide that the current presidency is not doing well enough as well, and they are voted out, that would mean the second time somebody will vote out. So we're passing a message across to people. It's not immediately that we're going to get the fruits of all this, participation in the electoral process. It might take a while for us to get the right kind of leaders, because let's even talk about the kind of quality of leaders that we're getting in some of the elections that are currently ongoing in the country as well. But it's an ongoing process. We have to send a message to them to say, if you are not able to deliver on your promise, if you're not about to get the right people in government to be able to place the nation on the right path, we're going to vote you out. And there's nothing you can do about that. Now, the power is with the people. It's with the young people. Now, for people who are quite, not enthusiastic about that, now they have an opinion, and that's based on past experiences. What we just have to do as a communications professional, which that's my work, is to help them see reasons why they have to participate. You can't just sit on the line. By 2050, Nigeria is going to be the third largest nation in the world. We have to start preparing the millions of people that will join the labor force for that future. And that's not being done at the moment. There's no strategy for job creation from the federal government. There's no strategy for primary health care in the country. Well, how are we going to get all this done? These are the questions that are not being asked. And also importantly, I think it's important for us to also ask the right questions from our leaders as we prepare for 2019. What is your plan? Now, I come from Osun State, so you heard about what just happened at the election, And I was listening to the debate last week, and I couldn't see anything cohesive or coherent from this candidate. I'm like, are you guys seriously kidding me? What's your plan? The state is in debt at the moment. What's your plan to ensure that you take the state out of debt, to generate more internal generator revenue from 1.5 billion naira and get wealth for people? But that wasn't it. All they could say was, oh, things are bad, we're going to change it. How?